Have you ever watched an episode of television that left you completely stunned? So good, so perfectly executed, that you knew right away it would be remembered as one of the best in the entire series? That's exactly what happened with Dexter. Resurrection Episode 9. Fans felt it, critics felt it, and even IMDb confirmed it by ranking this chapter at the very top of the revival. For me, it wasn't just another strong episode. It was near flawless. Everything worked in harmony, from the shocking tragedy of Angel Batista to the devastating line of dialogue that tore down Dexter's carefully constructed identity, to the unexpected unraveling of Charlie, and finally to the way it all built toward a finale that promises to be unforgettable. The moment that crushed so many longtime fans was the death of Batista. We always knew his obsession with the Bay Harbor butcher might someday cost him everything, but the way it played out made it far more devastating than anyone expected. What struck me most was how his downfall didn't happen all at once. It had been unraveling for weeks. The first cracks showed when Dexter manipulated Detective Wallace into believing Batista was losing his mind, unable to let go of Dokes being framed and the grief of losing Maria. That planted doubt in everyone else's mind about his integrity. Then came the strange, early retirement call that only made him seem more unstable, followed by the symbolic gut punch of being forced to hand over his badge. That badge wasn't just a piece of metal, it was Batista's entire identity. Watching him instinctively reach for it later, only to realize it wasn't there anymore, was like watching a part of him die before the fatal blow ever arrived. So when the inevitable happened, when Dexter held the blade above him, and we all thought he might finish Batista himself, only to release him instead, only for Priya to fire the shot that ended his life, it didn't feel like a cheap shock. It felt like the final crushing act in a tragedy that had been building for so long. His last words to Dexter, bitter and defiant, were simple but powerful. Fuck you, Dexter. He may not have survived, but he went out with the truth in his hands, having finally confirmed what he'd always known. If Batista's death was the heartbreaker, then the reveal that followed was the gut punch. All season long, Dexter had been walking a tightrope, operating undercover as Red Schmid, while secretly infiltrating Leon Prater's twisted circle of killers. He manipulated, eliminated, and maneuvered his way through every obstacle, earning Prater's trust in ways no one else could. He was this close to ending it all, poised to finally take Prater down, when Batista unknowingly gave away the secret that destroyed everything. With one line, "His real name is Dexter Morgan. We worked together in homicide." The mask was ripped away. Months of careful planning disintegrated in seconds. The look on Prater's face as the pieces fell into place, the chilling silence, Charlie's smile in the background. It was a moment of pure devastation. And the timing couldn't have been worse, hitting just before Dexter's chance to strike. The other major surprise in this episode was Charlie. She's been one of the most divisive characters of the season, cold, calculated, almost robotic. But here we finally saw her break. Her car scene with Dexter was easily one of the most intense moments of the entire show so far. Uma Thurman gave an incredible performance, capturing the fear, the tears, the raw humanity of someone who'd always presented herself as untouchable. The close-up shots made you feel trapped right there with her, suffocated by fear and uncertainty, the kind that makes every breath feel harder to take. For the first time, Charlie wasn't just a cog in Priya's machine. She was a real person, conflicted and vulnerable, and maybe even capable of turning against him. The way Dexter pulled that confession out of her, forcing her to admit how much she despises Priya, was the turning point. After that, it's hard to see her as anything other than a potential wildcard heading into the finale. And that's really what made this episode so perfect, the way it built toward what comes next. By the time the credits rolled, the stakes were higher than they've ever been. Dexter is locked inside a vault with a body lying nearby. Law enforcement officers are swarming just meters away. Priya has just tasted blood for the first time, and the hunger in his eyes says he wants more. And Dexter, angry, grieving, and more dangerous than ever, is ready to unleash hell. Everything is unpredictable. Will Dexter survive? Will Charlie switch sides? Will Prater become the true monster of the story? There are so many directions it could go, and the uncertainty is exactly what makes it so thrilling. Looking back on it, Episode 9 wasn't just another strong chapter of Dexter, it was a masterclass in television storytelling. The pacing was razor-sharp, the emotions ran deep, the performances were unforgettable, and the twists were brutal in the best way. Batista's death gave us heartbreak. Prater's discovery gave us tension. Charlie's unraveling gave us humanity. And the ending gave us the perfect setup for a finale that could go down as one of the greatest episodes in the show's history. IMDb wasn't exaggerating. This truly was the perfect episode. Now the only question left is whether Dexter Resurrection can stick the landing.